Hey, what's up, guys? Major Dangle here with another quick tank review. And in this episode, we'll be looking at the Tier 7 Blitz Nation heavy tank, the Forest Witch. And this tank is a fake tank made up by Wargaming, so there is no history on this tank. So we can just pull up Armor Inspector here, and you can see that I do have a Forest Witch pointing at this Forest Witch. And you can see this tank does have excellent frontal armor. It's very hard to pen this tank, a little bit on that top turret there and a little bit on the lower plate there, but it all kind of depends on the angle with this tank. These cheeks, if you turn your turret a little bit too much, you can pen these cheeks, or if you are at an angle, you can be penned. But overall, this tank does have excellent frontal armor. And we can pull up the stats here real quick for this tank. It does feature the emergency track system that allows you to keep backing up in battle even when you are tracked. And it does have a reserve shell mechanic. And it features 1,664 hit points. Pretty good frontal armor at 193 millimeters thick on the turret and 128 millimeters thick on the front of the hull. You do not want to show your sides or the rear of this tank. If you just stay head on, you will get plenty of bounces from tier 7s and tier 6s, and you might even get some pretty good bounces from tier 8s. This tank has a damage per minute of 1,775 hit points, an auto reloading gun with a reload time between shots of 2.61 seconds, and you don't want to dump that last shell on this gun unless you really have to, because you can see that last shell takes 18.34 seconds to reload. The second shot in your clip is 8 seconds, and the third shot is 6 seconds, and the fourth 5 seconds. So if you can, just maybe even use it as just a 2-shot, maybe even a 3-shot, but try to save that last shell unless you really need to fire it. So average penetration for AP rounds is 192 millimeters, APCR rounds 252 millimeters, and HE rounds 49 millimeters. Average damage for AP rounds is 240 hit points, and APCR rounds 210 hit points, and HE rounds 320 hit points. It has a gun depression limit of 6 degrees, a top speed of 36 kilometers per hour forward and 15 in reverse. And we can pull up how I have this tank equipped here real quick. And as I always say, there might be better ways to equip this tank, but this does seem to work for me. So you cannot add a camo to this tank. What you see is what you get. It is kind of an ugly tank, but I mean, at the same time, it looks pretty cool. You can add attachments if you want. Alright, and we did just have a pretty decent battle here on Canal with the Forest Witch. And I am down tiered this battle, but that should be okay because this tank is pretty solid against most tier 8s. It has pretty good armor and a solid gun. So right away I decide, since we do have 2 mediums and a light, I am going to go support medium side. I often do that on this map depending on how many mediums or lights there are. So I'm going to take a little shortcut there. This tank does have enough power to get up that hill. It's not a super fast tank, but it's not slow either. A couple enemy tanks spotted already. Enemy 251 is just sitting out in the open. So we get 1 shot on him. And we do clear him for the first kill of the game. Gonna move on up while we reload our clip. Can't quite get a shot on that Panther 2 there, but we do have a full clip now. We get a nice bounce from the T-44, and we sink a shot into him. This tank's gun is pretty accurate, and we got the enemy annihilator here. Pretty dangerous tank, so we're gonna try to get a shot or 2 into him, and we sink 1, but T-44 is pushing back up. So we're going to reload our clip here. And we do miss our shot on him. That wasn't the gun's fault, that was my fault. But we do get a nice bounce there. And so we're down to 1 shot in our clip, so we're not going to spend that shot if we don't have to. Again, it's going to be such a long reload if you shoot that last shot in your clip. So we're going to try to reload our whole clip here. Enemy Annihilator was just eliminated, which is very good because that is a dangerous tank. Alright, we're reloaded. We got 1 shot into the T-44 and a second. And we're going to push up here real quick and get that 3rd and final shot into the T-44 for the 2nd kill of the game. Again, just reloading our clip here. We get a nice bounce from the Panther 2. Panther 2 is down to a 1 shot. And we do get that clear on the Panther 2. Again, this tank's gun is pretty accurate and pretty dangerous. 3 enemy tanks left. So we're gonna somewhat quickly work our way over here. It's not super fast, but again, for a heavy tank, it's not slow either. We are up to 3 kills this battle. Only 1,641 damage out so far. Use that speed boost, and it does help a little bit, you know, to get up hills or to accelerate to your top speed. Alright, we're almost up to the enemies here. Got an Email 1 and a T-54E2. Not quite sure where that Cheeto is. And there he's spotted on the other side of the map. Alright, got a shot into the rear of that T-54. And a 2nd shot. Can't quite get that clear shot. And we leave him with 35 hit points. So still just don't want to use that last shot like I did there, because it's about a 16-second reload. So we're just gonna sit behind this building here and get a nice lucky bounce there. But luckily the Email and the T-54 didn't decide to push me. They obviously didn't know I was on reload, and I decided, even after that long reload for that last shot, I decided it was worth it to take out that T-54. So got a pretty low health Email 1. And I just now reloaded that first shot in my clip. And the 2nd shot. So I decided to get 1 into that Email. And again, spend that last shot in my clip, just to take out the Email and get the 5th kill of the game. So we're going to get a long reload here. Our Annihilator is pretty low on health. Cheeto is pushing up. I wanted to shoot the Cheeto right there, but again, I wanted to reload my clip. That Cheeto was pretty good on health. So I'm going to try not to use that last shot until I really need to. And again, you just got to use your best judgment when it's going to be the right time to use that last shot and when not. Alright, now we're fully reloaded. Gonna push up to the Cheeto here. Do bounce that first shot, unfortunately, but luckily we got a couple more shots in our clip. And we do clear that Cheeto for the 6th kill of the game. Pretty good battle there and a good victory. We came out with 3,273 damage that battle, 1,270 block damage, 6 destroyed tanks, and a pretty well earned Ace Mastery badge. Did earn a little chunk of credits there as well, and we were top on the team. So overall, guys, I would say this tank is pretty amazing, and I would definitely recommend getting it if you don't have it already. Even if it sells for 10,000 gold, I would say it's definitely worth it, in my opinion. It's kind of an ugly tank, but it performs really well, and I normally seem to have pretty good battles in this tank, even when I'm down tiered. And so I would definitely recommend getting this tank if you can. And I think that's all I have for this episode here on the Forest Witch. And thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time.